The Dell Optiplex 330. Chances are you've probably seen this computer before, or one that looks just like it, such as a Dell Optiplex 360, 755, 380. They're all over the place. You'll find them in businesses, offices, schools, basically anywhere where you need a simple computer for basic office tasks. And now they're starting to cycle these out. I know for a fact because I just bought some from a school district. I picked up about 69 of these for under $5 a pop, and they're currently sitting under my desk. So right now you're probably asking yourself, what's so special about this PC? Well, absolutely nothing. These are your run-of-the-mill, dime-a-dozen Optiplexes, and this one is no exception. When it comes to specs on paper, it's really not that impressive. We have a E2160, 2GB of DDR2 RAM, and an 80GB 7200 RPM Seagate hard drive. Along with that, you're getting integrated graphics and a install of Windows XP. But for this video, we're not going to be using Windows XP. We are not even going to be using Windows at all. I'm going to wipe the drive and put a clean instance of Lubuntu 17.04 on it. And I know some of you aren't going to like that, and that's perfectly fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, and in my opinion, I think this system in its stock configuration should be running a lightweight Linux distribution. Lubuntu is great on system resources, easy to use, pretty much comes with everything you need for basic office productivity out of the box. It has a word processor pre-installed, Firefox is pre-installed, you got a whole bunch of system utilities already there. So for this video, I will be installing Lubuntu, but in the next video I will be upgrading this PC and installing a Windows alternative such as either Windows 7 or Windows 10. But for this video, and taking into consideration that the system is currently in its stock configuration, we are going to use Lubuntu. So let's grab a USB flash drive, install Lubuntu, and see what this thing can do. As you guys can see, I have our test bench set up and ready to go. I have a Dell monitor right on top of the Optiplex 330, and the first thing that I'm going to be testing is the boot time. So the amount of time it takes from pushing the power button to get to the desktop. So I'm going to time that right now. I have my Huawei Honor 8 out here, and I'm going to hit the start button when I hit the power button. So let's go now. And I'm going to speed this up just so you don't have to sit through this. It probably won't take too long. I think last time I checked, it was about a 25-second boot time with the traditional Seagate 80GB 7200 RPM hard drive. So it turns out boot time was significantly longer than I thought it initially was when I first booted this thing up. I didn't have a timer on me, so I didn't actually time it. It seemed like it took about 25 seconds, but it turns out that boot time is closer to 50 seconds. So that's from hitting the power button to getting to the desktop. So while I'm here, first things first, let's open up a terminal and type in the lshw command. So you can see the terminal opened up nice and snappy. And there we go. So sudo lshw, and this command is going to give us all of our hardware information. Just give it a second. We'll scroll back up here, and I'll make this a little bit bigger. If you guys are curious about the hardware at any point, you can go ahead and pause and take a closer look. There is a ton of information here for you guys. So as I said earlier, we have a E2160 dual-core Pentium processor running at 1.8 gigahertz in this machine. We also have 2 gigabytes of DDR2 RAM along with that, integrated Intel graphics. And if I keep scrolling down here, you guys can read off anything that you want to. Once again, I don't have time to actually read back all of this. There's a lot of information from the lshw command. I really only care about processor RAM, graphics at this moment. And speaking of graphics, please keep in mind that this is more of a office machine demonstration, so we're not going to be doing any sort of gaming. And this machine's not really capable of any sort of gaming in its current state. Now, when I do go and throw some upgrades into this thing, I'm going to add a video card, 4 gigs of RAM, and a solid state drive. This thing will definitely be able to play some newer games, even with that stock Pentium processor. And yes, this is a 64
64-bit processor. So now let's just pop open a web browser and hit some sites. You guys know the drill. Every time I test a PC, I pretty much go through the same procedure. Sometimes I will open up some light games, but I was not able to get Super Tux Kart or Open Arena to work on this PC, so we will not be popping open any games. And once again, games and benchmarks, that is saved for the upgrade video. Where am I going? I want to go to bookmarks. So the first thing I'm going to hit is my site. We are hooked up to my Powerline Ethernet adapter right now, and as you can see, that was nice and snappy. Scrolling is nice and smooth, and overall a very responsive web browsing experience. So if I just go right, where should I go actually? Latest post, all posts. Let's just check out all posts. And you can see that web browsing pages load like that. Very, very snappy browser experience. And let's go to a site that's not my site, so you guys know that I'm not cheating right now. And it turns out I did not bookmark the Associated Press's site, so let's just navigate there now. You can see that I was there earlier, so if we go to the Associated Press's site, you can see that once again, pretty much loads up instantly. Click through here. Very, very capable web browsing machine. Now, when I first got these computers, there were a lot of people in the comment section that said that this machine was completely useless, that it was basically just junk. And as you can see, it is not completely useless. I mean, this would make a great server, a great NAS, and as you can see, it also makes a great daily driver. Well, as far as web browsing is concerned, I'm going to open up some word processing applications in just a second. It can also play back video at 720p without any sort of issue. So if I just navigate to one of my videos, so go AA Computers and Technology. Once you can see, going through YouTube, we're having no problems right now, and I don't have any sort of ad blocker on or anything like that. Let's just go to the last subscriber update. And by the way, this computer does have a built-in speaker, so you'll hear audio in just a minute. Let me crank that up. There we go, we got 720p video at 60 FPS, and as you can see, every so often there is a quick frame drop. I'm not sure if that's coming out on camera, but for the most part, very smooth video playback, and if we drop this down to 480p, it's completely flawless. And just to show you what I'm working with here real quick, this monitor's resolution is 1440 by 900. So we're going to leave this open and we're going to have our hand at some multitasking. So I'm just going to minimize that. As you can see, that animation was pretty smooth. All the animations and everything are pretty smooth despite the fact that we are on integrated graphics right now. So now I'm going to pop open A by Word. Let's say we need to write a paper, maybe do some research at the same time. So now we're going to have a web browser open and A by Word at the same time. Whew, we got some weird artifacting going on right now with A by Word. That's interesting. So it turns out that was an issue that was isolated to A by Word. If I pop open an instance of LibreOffice Writer right now, you will see that, look, it's not having seizures like A by Word was. So I'll just type in our good old generic phrase, hello. Oops, that's not right. Hello, YouTube. And I'll change the font size, change that to 18, change the font type. Just change that to something random, and we'll make it bold, italicize it, and underline it. So no issues there, really responsive using the word processor. And let's partake in some multitasking. Open up A by Word again, even though it's having some personal problems. Open up GNumeric, and let's open up the task manager to see what our resource usage looks like. If I can actually find the task manager, there it is. You can see that right now we're using about 1.3 gigabytes out of our 2 gigabytes of RAM, so not too bad right now, even though we have all these applications open. That's the great thing about having a lightweight Linux distribution, is that the underlying operating system itself is pretty light on the resources, and you can see that we even have an instance of Firefox open with 3 tabs. Still not really hiccuping. I think that's going to be about it for this demo. Now, someone's going to say that this wasn't enough to demo a basic, Office machine, and I have to disagree, because when you're using a basic Office machine, this is really all you're doing. You're browsing the web, you're writing papers, you're coming up with presentations, opening them up, PowerPoint presentations, opening up PDFs, and I believe there's a PDF reader on this system already. We do have a text editor. What else do we have here? image viewer. Just going to pop open a bunch of these applications to see what this machine can take. Oh, there's our document viewer. Oh, we have Simple Scan too. I love Simple Scan. It is a great lightweight scanning application. Very simple to use, very bare bones, but it gets the job done. We'll open up, you know, that's when I was going for Associated Press. Where else can we go? What's something that would really bog this system down? Oh, I know! CNN.com. We use that all the time because it's full of garbage and ads and everything else and scripts and lots and lots and lots of stuff that's going to consume a lot of memory within this web browser. Wow! Okay, so that's impressive. This machine's actually taking that very, very well. And let's open up the task manager. We're probably eating up quite a bit of RAM now. Yeah, 1.4 gigs of RAM at the moment. You can see we have all of these applications open. You can see them all at the bottom of the taskbar right here. And the system's still very responsive. I'll pop open another instance of Firefox. There we go. And we'll try going to my site again just to make sure this instance is responsive. And it is. Look at that. So doing some really crazy multitasking with this system, and you can see that we are getting close to utilizing a majority of our RAM. So that's where that 4 gigabytes, the 4 gigabytes of RAM that I plan on throwing into this system is really going to come in and help. And you can see that our CPU usage is all pretty high because we have all these web pages and everything else open. But that's going to be about it for the demo of the system in its stock configuration. Stay tuned. I believe in about 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. I will publish the video of this thing after it has been completely upgraded. But until then, I will leave you with this video. Oh, you can see that, ooh, closing Windows, it is starting to struggle. You can see that the windows are kind of lagging behind just a tad bit now. We have a lot open. You can see that, yeah, it's starting to struggle just a little bit. But, you know, this computer, pick this up for under $5, and it makes a great office machine. You know, you could do a lot with this. You can give this to someone that, you know, doesn't really need that much, like someone like my mom who just, you know, uses a web browser and maybe a word processor, checks email, and this would make a great machine with a lightweight Linux distribution, and it might even make a great machine with a newer Windows edition like Windows 10. But once again, still have to test that out. That is coming up in the near future, and that is going to be about it for this video, guys. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can go ahead and post a comment down in the comment section. Don't forget to drop a like on this video. If you didn't like this video, please tell me why. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to support me, you can use my Amazon or eBay affiliate links to make purchases at Amazon or eBay. That always helps me out a lot. And you can also support me by checking out my Patreon. All those links will be down in the description. Once again, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next installment of A Computers and Technology.